Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a quick beer review. It is that time of year. It is Bigfoot season, so that's what we're going to drink. From Sierra Nevada, this is Bigfoot Barley Wine Style Ale. They call it a barley wine style ale, I think, because this beer is really freaking hoppy. It's not traditional or English or whatever. It just says barley wine style ale. So, Sierra Nevada, Chico, California. They're also in Mills River, North Carolina. I love that they put the vintage on the caps of these beers. It's cool. I mean, it says it right on the label too, 2025. 9.6% alcohol by volume. This is another beer. They must let it bottle condition because it gets released in January. Today's January 18th, but this was, it says packaged on November 20th. So it's been in the bottle for a couple months. I don't know why they package it so early. I'm not sure. Don't care. I've reviewed this beer in the past on the channel, but I've never had it fresh. I've never reviewed it fresh. So we are doing it. And we're also going to do, because we did the Sierra Nevada Celebration and Sierra Nevada Pale Ale side by side. My man Sean was telling me that when he was, I think he was at Sierra Nevada, and the one brewer from Sierra Nevada had said that they're not the same beer, but essentially you have Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and then double Sierra Nevada Pale Ale is basically Celebration, and then Bigfoot is basically double Celebration. Again, not the exact same, but in, like, that's kind of how they're brewing these things. So I saved a can of Celebration from over the holidays, and we're going to do a side-by-side of this and that. And it's actually perfect because this beer is probably, the bottling date of the Bigfoot bottles I have is probably around the same time as the cans of Celebration. So about the same freshness. It's going to be fun. Can't wait. Can't wait. So this beer is an awesome, like, ruby red. It probably looks really dark on camera because we sit at this red video game, but it's like ruby red. It looks awesome. I don't know, quarter finger of like a eggshell head. There is not a single, well, I can see a couple bubbles in the glass. It is very still in the glass, but it looks awesome. It's been, I had made a joke in a review last week. It's been cold in North County, San Diego. It's been in the 30s in the morning. It's gotten into the 50s during the day, but this is, like, for me, a cold weather beer. Like, I'm happy that I'm drinking this, you know, on a weekend evening in colder weather. So let's go and smell this thing. Smells so good. It is malty, it's bready, but it is hoppy. It smells piney. Gosh, it smells fucking delicious. We've been drinking some macro lagers recently, so drinking this is, it smells so intense. Yeah, piney, a little resinous. There's a little floral thing to it. But yeah, it's sweet, it's caramely. It's like a little toffee-ish. And it's got that, like, I always say Celebration reminds me of the brown bread that you get at restaurants. I don't know if this is quite like that brown bread, but it's bready. It does not smell like booze either, being almost 10%. Ah, smells awesome. Let's go and taste it. Cheers. Gosh, that is good. It is really good. There is an awesome bitterness on the middle of your tongue. This beer is very hoppy, fresh. I think it says on the bottle you can cellar these, and a lot of people do that. I think the last review of Bigfoot I did, the bottle was like four years old, so the hops had faded a bit. This is piney, resinous, floral. It sits on your tongue and it stays. I mean, thinking about Celebration, it makes sense to me that this is like a double version of Celebration, just because it's so hop forward, and like that bitterness lingers on your tongue. I don't know if it says, I don't think it says the IBUs on here. And obviously I didn't look it up before. This has to be decently high as far as IBUs go, because there's a good bitterness that's sitting on my tongue. It almost like takes away like that caramely, like toffee thing that you're smelling. It's definitely like there's a sweetness on the finish, but this to me drinks like, it's almost like an old school like triple IPA almost, just because it's so hop forward and so bitter. And it has a sweetness, and the color reminds me like when those guys were using like crystal malt back then. Despite not seeing any real bubbles in the glass. It's like, it feels like nice on your palate. It's prickly, it's bright, but this is it's crazy how bitter and resinous it is, and how long, like the finish on this is forever. That second sip, as this is warmed up a little bit, there's a little bit of like that sticky kind of toffee thing, but this is just ridiculously awesomely like hoppy and floral and piney. This, like, it does this, like something like this, if I ever lived like where it snowed, this would be something like I'd want to sit like in I imagine myself sitting like in a cabin and it's snowing, just drinking these. This is very, like, it's it's scary how drinkable this beer is for almost 10%. So it's really, really good. And these will sit in the fridge. I'll be able to, you know, sit on it for at least a year. Maybe I'll do that. Like, I'll just keep these. I bought a 6-pack of this because that's how it comes. Maybe I'll just keep them for the next, 5 years and drink one next year, one in 2 years, one in 3 years, just to see how they change. Like, check in once a year on it. Delicious. So yeah, this definitely, if you're a barley wine fan, like a traditional barley wine fan, you're probably not a fan of this beer just because it's so hoppy and so bitter and so resinous. But someone like me who enjoys hop forward beers, I love something like this. So that is Bigfoot, the 2025 vintage. There's a little bit more sweetness as it's warmed up, like a little bit more caramel, but yeah, this is hoppy AF. I love it. So do you guys have this one? Let's talk about it. If not, pick this up, give it a shot. I can't wait to drink this side by side with Celebration. So that is it. Appreciate you guys watching. See you soon. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA